Dave, you're making a perfect transition into our final opening act topic because, okay, once the end of the world happens, right, and the
Yeah.
Doomsday button has been activated, and Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst is up there being like, "All right, everybody, we're all gonna die." When that happens, don't worry about the music because the music will be preserved in a Norwegian music Doomsday vault. And
Oh,
I'm
thank
not
God.
making this up. Thank God,
Thank
Dave.
God.
We have
Thank
a
God.
contingency plan for all this destruction. But a company in Norway is creating the Global Music Vault that's going to be using a special format to store music. Pretty much, it's going to last over 1,000 years, buried deep underground in cool, dry conditions. This vault will include music from all over the world, all genres, all eras. And it's actually very similar to something they've already done called the Global Seed Vault, which is doing the same thing with seeds. So, should the world come to an end, Limp Bizkit style, we will be able to rebuild with the seeds and the music of the past to last for all time so that we can still survive and we can still thrive. So, Dave, what do you think about this? What bands are you putting in the Doomsday Vault?
Oh, fuck. Of all time,
I guess the
I
Beatles would
think,
go in there.
yeah, like you'd have to do like, the best of the. I think we would be okay if you did like if we did like maybe the top 20 bands of every genre of every era, like
Yeah.
top 20 of the 60s or the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, all the way through.
Yeah.
And when we got to the 60s, we started doing American and British. I think we would be okay.
Yeah. But well, there's other world music that we need to think about as well.
Is there?
Yeah. You need to be it
Ah,
needs to be
fair enough, fair enough.
representative of everything, Dave.
Sure. So what are we getting in there? What are we getting? We got to have like representations of every culture now.
Classical music. We have to have international
How big
music.
is this? Is this a hard drive that's just
I
being?
think it's like some sort of weird film or like microfiche or
Yeah.
some sort of coded film.
Sounds
It's
like an
not.
NFT.
What if it's just like an iPod? You go,
So,
okay, so 1,000 years from now, right? They send this team, and they're like, you have to go retrieve the music vault so we can rebuild society. And they
they
get there,
go
right? They're
in.
like, smoke everywhere, this huge metal vault. They go to open it up, and it's just an iPod sitting on a
Yeah.
like a
Dead.
little pedestal.
Not even charged.
Yeah, oh shit.
Yeah. Who's got an adapter?
Oh my God. It's like, oh my God, those adapters haven't been available for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
We don't even have wall plugs that they can use
Yeah.
anymore.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, we're making fun of the end of humanity here, Dave. I don't know if you feel happy about that, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, brother. I don't know who I would throw in there. Like there's so much music and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
world music
Toss
you can
us in
get.
there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, throw us in there and have something good to rebuild on at least. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. And who's making the decision? Like who's like, like Madonna.
Well, no, I heard that companies will be able to pay to get in on this. So if you're a record label or whatever, your Universal Music, you can pay a fee to have your artist placed in the vault.
it's a Super Bowl halftime scheme, eh? They're
Yeah,
just like, oh,
exactly.
I gotcha.
It's another money making scheme. Everything's got to be monetized. Everything's got to have some value to it, man.
Welcome to the Tonight Show. It'll cost you $30,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
yeah, I
you want
get
your
it.
music to survive, like imagine getting a music
Yeah,
meeting. They're like, listen, I'm just saying, you want this music to survive, don't you? Wouldn't it be
yeah.
a shame if this was lost to the ages? Everybody would be devastated.
Isn't this your life's work? You just
Yeah.
want to push it aside?
Well, I read that the labels actually do all have different vaults around the world where they store their music in digital form.
Sure.
So I guess I
That's
guess we're
interesting.
okay. But if the end of the world does happen, along with there'll be seeds and there'll be music. So
Well,
there'll be
you know what's interesting that we're talking about this too is I just saw somebody talking about Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey was, how he's a painter now, like he paints all the time, like
yeah.
the comedian. And somebody asked him at a party, they were like, "Oh, what are you up to?" And he was like, "Oh, I've been painting a lot. I've been selling works of art off. It's my new thing. Like I transferred my art energy into painting." And somebody was like, "But why? Like you're like this." super famous comedic actor and stand
Yeah.
up. And, like, why are you so, like, why would you change the painting?
Why?
And he said that he realized that no one now knows the people that inspired him when he got into comedy. So within 50 years, no one will give a fuck about Jim Carrey and his
Mhm.
acting. So he realized that. So he feels that having the physical present painting and making paintings now is a better way to be remembered forever.
Mhm. Interesting.
So it's,
Well,
little
it's true.
vault
Well,
kind of,
art does have that type of longevity.
right? Like it's an interesting way to, and like to know somebody's at that level and think like, fuck, what I did is great, but it ain't forever. And to know
Yeah.
that is pretty, kind of ahead of itself.
Yeah. Jim Carrey's a genius. I watched that. There was a documentary, not to get too off topic, but there was a documentary on Netflix about him when he was making Man on the Moon, and he was portraying Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It's either, he's either a genius or he's an idiot, but I lean more onto, I love Jim Carrey, so I lean more towards the genius side of things.
Sure, 100%, man. Yeah, that was an amazing documentary
Yeah.
too, and I really like that movie. And the fact that he goes into the character, man. Like that's you're. And listen, I'm not saying it's not gonna crumple some feathers and ruffle some feathers, but it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like when you're that involved and you want to sell something that much, that's what you have to do. And the people that don't understand it are the people that aren't Jim Carrey. So that's
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And he's at that point in his career. He's made so much money that he can just pursue his own interests.
Yeah, man, I think it's awesome. Like I think about that too because I've always been into art and I've always been into other things, and I think that I look at everything I do artistically as like that kind of like, well, this is my mark. Like I
Yeah.
have kids, I own some property, and then
Your
here's my
music. Yeah.
artistic
Yeah.
impression of onto the world, right?
Yeah.
And but like realistically, like other than my family and my friends that will all eventually be gone, like what happens? What happens to it 60 years down? Like, people love Whitney and Bobby, but where are they 60 years from now? Like,
They will always love Whitney and Bobby. Always.
oh,
Yeah. Well, you think about, even with a band like the Beatles, think about, well,
sure.
what's their longevity? It's already been 60 years. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
sure.
It
And
could keep
and and
going.
it could be another 100, 160 years. They're like
Yeah.
they talk about them like we talk about Beethoven and we talk about, other, and there are those people, there are those instrumental forces that come in that are artistic brilliance that we've never seen the likes of, that change the society and how
Yeah.
people think things should be. That definitely happens, but that's only like less than 0.001% of the people doing that thing. Like that's
Yeah.
why a lot of art, like so many artists die poor, and then they have these priceless paintings.
Yeah. For sure. All right.
Crazy.
Well, it's all going in the vault.
Yeah, put it in the vault.
The
Jim Carrey's
vault.
pictures, Ace Ventura,
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, it all goes in the vault.
Yeah, for sure. The cable guy, it's all got to be
Yeah,
in there.
vault it.
Vault. It's in the vault. The
In the
Disney
vault.
has a vault, so everybody else can have a vault too.
Does Disney still have a vault?
No,
Isn't everything
no,
streaming?
everything's streaming. They don't have the vault anymore, unfortunately.
They should have done the vault thing a little bit to like pull in more people.
Yeah,
Right? Because then every month it could be like Disney's releasing, like it could build up Little Mermaid again, like in 4K high definition,
yeah.
out of the vaults.
But that's the thing. Everything's out of the vault now. That you got to get that
Yeah,
monthly subscription, right? So
they blew it.
they blew it. Sorry, Disney.